absolutely gorgeous beach at Gladstone's, surrounded by these seagulls that are breathtakingly gorgeous. And this day is just, I mean, the water is just so blue and so beautiful. Oh, this is nature. Why do we have to deal with reality? Why can't we just deal with nature and the ocean and the birds and the trees and, oh, they're talking to us. So, I have to get here and live here for the rest of my life, so I'm going to have to finish my book.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Barbie Klein, Eaton alive, Barbara Elissa Klein, Elissa Eaton. Which name do you like better? Lisa, Rehab Lisa. This to me is Shangrila. It's like nothing, a gift that God has given me that nothing could surpass this day, this moment. But unfortunately, every moment in life can't be great. And that's kind of too bad. I try and make it as great as I can. But why do I feel separate from people? That's what I'm trying to work on. Why do I feel so separate from life? I think it's because I'm an artist. And all artists delve under the layers and try and analyze and figure out what it's really about so they can make themselves happy. And I think that if people figure out what it's really about when they're really young, they don't have to go through all those horrible mistakes as they get older and have the same mistakes over and over again.
Who is Barbara Klein Eaton?
Barbara Klein Eaton.
Or Barbie Klein?
Barbie Klein was a fun party girl who partied so hard that she ended up in rehab. So she had to really not be the party girl anymore. Who am I? Barbie Klein. I am an aesthetic, loving, hateful woman. I am a mercurial personality. I'm a Pisces. And I love the ocean more than anything in the world, and the birds and the tranquility of life. And I don't like conflicts and people that push and take advantage of my time. I'm a person that wants love but doesn't really know how to get it. Because I'm so fearful of people and non-trusting. And I have such a shell over me that it's very hard for me to get really close to people. And that's why I feel so separate from people in life. So anyway, I think the reason that I feel so separate from other people, like I said, is because number one, as ditzy and crazy as I am, I think there's a brilliance to me. And I'm very psychic and metaphysical and into quantum physics and all that. And that makes me look a little deeper into life, into what's going on. And I try, even though I'm a narcissist, to not have it all be about me. That's who I am. Why do you think I'm separate from the rest, feel so separate from the rest of the world? Because I do feel very, very separate from the world.
I think you separate yourself.
Yes, of course.
Because you obviously have great rapport with people.
Uh-huh.
And why do I love Barbie Klein? Tell me.
The potential of my life story, because I've had such an exciting, crazy life. Because at times I'm brilliant and entertaining.
Who have been the people you've loved the most in your life?
They're dead or in rehab. Sue, my girlfriend Sue, who was my partner far back as high school. And then of course we partied at the Whiskey and all these different places and the Roxy and shared our bubbles and our boyfriend, my boyfriends, because she was always married or living with someone, and she'd come down to my house just to party and have fun and share my boyfriends with me. So she was my favorite woman in the whole world. And Michael, the actor who died, who somebody said something really nasty, they hope he died with his butt up so the world could kiss his ass. He was one of my favorite people. And Terry at one time, the little bondage queen, was kind of my favorite person until she went after me and my food critic jobs, and then I told her I'd go after her jugular vein. So we're not together. Oh, how could I forget Tom Terrific? Patrick. The love of my life, of course, was one man. I fucked the world. The porno star was the best fuck, the Latin was the worst. And Patrick, it was more than just fucking. At the beginning, it was all sexual and making love. This was the beach that Patrick and I came to one day when I had a hangover, and I brought a half a bottle of, believe it or not, I even remember today, Corbel champagne. And we sat on the beach, and then I jumped in the water naked, and he jumped after me. And there was a sand dune somewhere here that's not here today. I don't see it anymore. But everything isn't the same. Everything changes so quickly that you can't expect it to be the same when you come back. No one's the same. They're always different every minute. But I think I loved him more than anyone in the whole world. And I blew it for sex, but you know what? The sex was so good that I can't deprive it of myself. Because I did it before AIDS, and I'm okay. You know, I didn't get AIDS. So that kind of worked out, and I'm not with him, but I'm sure that he wouldn't be the same person, and I'm not the same person anymore the way I've grown. And I was growing leaps and bounds as a writer before we split up. And if things were so great, I wouldn't have cheated on him, I'm sure. So who did I love? I loved all these people that I used to know in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and they're dead or in rehab or in institutions and mental institutions. It's hard to get to know me, but when you get to know me, I really tell all. And who do I love? Billy, of course. My dear Billy, he's a very sick boy. I always told him that. Very, very, very sick. And now he had to leave LA and live in Aspen. But if he's halfway happier, then I'm happy for him. And my animals, of course, I love my little babies, my little Skylark, who's the miracle dog, and Shakespeare, who doesn't exactly have the mentality of William Shakespeare, and Eclipse, my calico cat. And I love them, and we have a happy home together. We have a lot of love.
Have you ever had love?
Yes, I have had a lot of love in my life. And the greatest love, of course, was a man called Patrick. And he was the greatest love in my life. And I was with him for 13 years, and I think if anybody's lucky enough to have the real deal for that long, that I just thank God for that it happened.
Where's Patrick now?
I don't know whether he's alive or dead or where he is, but I have a feeling he's somewhere. And I always had this weird feeling that someday he'd just come tapping 4 times at my door, because he does know where I live. I had my phone disconnected when I went into rehab, and that was a long time ago. And I don't know what happened to him.
So why do you think Patrick is the love of your life?
Because I was very wild when I met him, and I had all these wild, crazy friends, and went from one night stand to another.
What do you like? You're kind of like you are like a Jackie Suzanne or one of those people. What is that? Where does that come from?
My background.
That's your Beverly Hills.
From growing up.
That's your Beverly Hills.
I grew up in Beverly Hills with an elitist, snobby family. Something had to rub off. Then I went to Laurel Canyon and hung out with the drug addict.
Are you
and
a
the
little
rock
snobby?
band. Yes.
How so?
How so? Well, if people don't have money and stuff like that, if they have class, if they have brains, if they have something that I want from them, to even know them or associate with them and be with them. It's cool. I'm not monetary. I was never monetary. I kept a lot of men in my life, I must say. And if they didn't have money, it was no big deal. I never liked the rich men. So I'm not monetary at all. Because I like to hang out with people who are responsible about their lives, who care enough about their lives to not make reckless choices, okay? That's one thing that I really, when I was drinking and I was really dropping a lot of pills and I was doing all that, it was okay. I was reckless too. So I could hang out with people like that. But I've changed and now I'm a responsible person that's kind of a flake in a way, kind of flaky responsible, but I take care of myself and my animals. And being judgmental means I'm psychic. I'm very psychic. I'm tuned in to people's psyches and into the universe. Like today I was talking about UCLA and suddenly boom, where I started, you know, my first class at UCLA, the extension on Westwood Boulevard, and there it was. So I believe that I can put out a certain energy and that I'm psychic and that the energy just comes to me. And if I get bad energy from someone, I don't want to be around them. I like very warm people, very warm-hearted, fun, intelligent people. It's like my shrink said that I'm an exacerbator. I know I'm a masturbator, but I'm an exacerbator too, which means that, let's say one drop of rain falls in Laurel Canyon and I have to go somewhere that night and I'm going, oh my God, it's gonna pour. I'm gonna get like stuck in the storm. I better not go. Some people I don't feel safe with. It's like I had a girlfriend that's an actress, and I went, you know, I already told you all about her. And we went to an art gallery opening, and after the opening we were in the car and she was rolling up joints and she had had 10 glasses of wine and she couldn't drive and she went through a red light and said, gee, I didn't see that. I don't feel safe with people like that, so I ended the relationship because I didn't want to be in the position that she'd want to ride for me or that I would ever get in her car. I would call 911 first. Okay?
Why do you think you survived? I mean, you have survived.
I think part of it was my mother helping me, giving me money. If she hadn't given me the money, I might have gone out and been an actress or studied or done something or been a shrink or a therapist, which I think really turns me on right now. I think that's kind of a really cool profession. But maybe that wouldn't have happened, and I always had money to at least, even though I did struggle and at times couldn't pay the rent that month, I always seemed to find a way to take care of myself and earn money.
Do you feel that you're a survivor?
Oh, I'm a definite survivor. A definite survivor.
What have you survived?
I have survived my mother, Hollywood, the movies, rape, horrible people that tried to that were jealous of me. When I was in theater, there were the egos in theater are so big, fucking big, everywhere. I survived getting thrown in the nut house. I survived getting date raped and having the survival skills to get into rehab and stop drinking alcohol. That was a big survival.
What have you lived through?
I've lived through a lot of heartache and a lot of pain. Well, some of the pain was sweet because whatever goes along with the pain, before the pain, I was having a good time. So I had to pay the consequences for a lot of reckless behavior, and I'm going to repeat that. Okay, I survived AIDS. I was fucking everything that walked in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. My whole thing was bringing home a strange dick to my playpen. That's what that was for me. It was exciting. I could put on my makeup, wear a different outfit, be a different person, perform for myself. I was always like a narcissist. So when I was giving somebody a blowjob, it was like I was looking in the mirror and watching all this and getting off on all this. So I survived a lot of really horrible men. I survived Patrick, who I was so in love with that when finally, after cheating on him with the porno star and didn't want to go to bed with him anymore, he just said, "Oh, don't bother," and found someone else. I survived that. That was the hardest thing in my life to survive. And I've never really, unfortunately, gotten over it. I survived that. I survived my mother's death, which was the most horrible thing I've ever gone through, watching my mother die. I survived. I took care of it. I went out and got the money and took care of myself and my animals. And anybody surviving Hollywood, not being a nutcase after all the years. And also, I was drop dead gorgeous, and I'm not anymore. And I survived that. And I'm not trying to pretend and wear high heels like all the girls do on Sunset Boulevard, and a lot of makeup and a lot of like midriffs in the freezing cold weather and trying to be younger or look younger than I am. So I'm taking care of myself. I'm standing tall. I'm standing alone. And maybe someday I fell out of step with one man. Maybe I can fall into step with another and find what I want, what I'm looking for in a man. And what I'm looking for is somebody that's a writer, somebody that's bright, somebody that's fun, somebody that you can wake up in the morning with and laugh and have fun and say, what are we going to do today? Oh, let's go to the beach every day.
What do you want people to think about you when they walk out of a movie?
The fame, the recognition that I have always deserved and have never gotten. Being on the B-list.
Were you even B-list?
I wonder, maybe I'm C-list now with my career.
When you're gone, what do you want people to think about you? What do you want the people to say about you after you're gone, when your time on this planet is through?
When I'm gone, do I care what people think about me? When I'm gone, I don't give a fuck what they think about me. I don't even give a fuck what they think about me now, so why should I give a fuck what they think about me when I'm gone? Let's get real. I think I am cool, and I think anybody is lucky to know me in their lifetime. And that sounds very braggadocious, and that's what that's what separates me from the rest of the milling crowd. Because Wayne Dyer would hate me right now, I know he would. And Louise Hay would yell at me. And all these great Shanti Guan and all these great prophets who think that everybody's equal and all that. I think mentally we're not all equal. And I don't want to get into the physical because I can love somebody if they're not physically perfect. I love people for their imperfections, and I love damaged souls. I just can't believe how blue the ocean is today. It's blowing me away. And how white the birds are. They're like little powder puffs, you know? Dancing along in the sand. This is it. It's almost sunset. The sun is going down on the water with the beautiful, beautiful gold reflections. Well, I have to go now. It's been really great talking to you.